If I told you politicians could choose their voters instead of voters choosing their politicians, would you believe me? That's what we call gerrymandering, and it's quietly shaping who has power in America. You see, gerrymandering is when those in power draw voting districts to give themselves an unfair advantage, and it can happen in two ways. The first is called packing. This is when those in power cram opposition voters into a few districts so their influence is limited elsewhere. The other way is called cracking. This is where those in power will spread opposition voters so thinly across many districts that they can never win a majority anywhere. So, what's the history behind this? The name gerrymandering comes from a man named Elbridge Gerry. Now, I know it sounds funny. His last name was actually Gary and not Jerry. He was the governor of Massachusetts in 1812, and he approved a district map that was shaped kind of like a salamander. Newspapers began to mock this as a gerrymander, and the name stuck. Now, even though the original pronunciation faded, the tactic has survived for over 200 years. Now, why does all this history matter? This isn't just about funny shaped maps. This is about justice. Gerrymandering has been used to dilute the voices of Black communities in the South, Native nations in the Midwest, and Latino voters in Texas and California. In North Carolina, the courts found that districts were intentionally designed to weaken Black political power. In Alabama, the Supreme Court ruled in 2023 that the state violated the Voting Rights Act by underrepresenting Black voters. You see, when lines are drawn to silence communities, it shapes who gets resources, who gets protection, who gets heard, sometimes for an entire generation. So, why is this relevant for us? Right now, states are redrawing maps for upcoming elections. And if the process isn't fair and transparent, those lines could lock in political power until the mid 2030s. There is a very stern moral responsibility for us. As followers of Jesus, the command to love your neighbor as yourself must mean something concrete in a democracy. You see, to love your neighbor is to care about how your neighbor is governed, whether they receive equal protection, equal provision, and equal punishment under the law. If we shrug at systems that silence their voice, we've already failed the commandment before we've opened our mouths to pray. So there is a very distinct call to action for us in this very moment. Why? You see, fair maps aren't just about politics, they are about covenant. They're about whether we will bear witness to justice in public life. In a democracy, your neighbor's voice is a part of their dignity. And when you protect their vote, you protect their worth. For a deeper dive into this topic, we would encourage you to read a book called One Person, No Vote by Carol Anderson. It lays bare how gerrymandering and voter suppression work together and has done so over the years to distort our democracy, especially in underrepresented groups of Black and Brown people. In a democracy, the people are supposed to choose their leaders, not the other way around. And if we love our neighbor, we'll fight to make sure that's exactly what happens.